Hello students, a long awaited book is out. Finally, after months of debate and discussion and newspaper articles and speculation, the NCERT has published the book of Social Science for grade 6. ये किताब कल ही पब्लिश हुई है, मार्केट में आई है, and I have bought one of the first copies of the book. And what I want to do today in next few minutes is to try to understand how this book is relevant from the point of view of UPSC Civil Service aspirant. ये बुक की यूटिलिटी क्या है, हमारे काम की नई चीज़ें क्या हैं. We know that we generally read old NCERTs, then we read new NCERTs. अब ये तीसरे NCERTs के सेट आ गए हैं. Let us call them newer NCERTs और latest NCERTs. तो अब यहाँ से आगे हर साल you will keep getting new and new books and old NCERTs तो ऑलरेडी जा चुके हैं, न्यू भी अब जाना शुरू हो गए हैं. सो आई एम श्योर एस्पिरेंट्स विल बी कन्फ्यूज कि किताब में नया क्या है, अब हम क्या पढ़े, कितना पढ़े, कहाँ से पढ़े. सो व्हाट आई विल बी डूइंग in this video and many upcoming videos is to try to demystify how to use this latest NCERTs. इसमें क्या ऐसी चीज़ है जो हमारे एग्जैक्ट काम की है from both prelims point of view and mains point of view. बीच बीच में शायद मैं थोड़े से ऑप्शनल के भी नज़रिया बताते जाऊंगा. But before going there, chapter by chapter, before going there, let me talk a little bit about the pedagogy of the book for a couple of minutes because it has a philosophy behind it. एक thinking है, एक thought process है which is reflected in this book. This book is based on a National Education Policy 2020. उसके आधार पे गवर्नमेंट had brought out National Curriculum Framework NCF in 2023 and that has led to this book. अब ये pedagogy जो है जिस आधार पे किताब बनाई गई है that is actually coming from those two documents NEP and NCF. ये एक बात. So this is a single book as usual for social science in 6th standard. In 6th grade, geography, polity, society, etc. aspects are not separate from each other and they also indicate a very beautiful thing, that is unity of knowledge. All social sciences are combined in one single book of around 200 pages. This book has no single author. Since 2006, जो new NCERTs थे, तब से NCERT has discontinued the tradition of single author books and now you have multiple authors. If you look at the credits given to the people, you come to know कि यहाँ पे 60-70 लोगों की मेहनत लगी है इतना ब्यूटीफुल किताब बनाने में. They must have worked very hard for a long time. The focus of this book is on the ideas. It makes you think. It rather provokes you to think. There are lot of interconnections, lot of insets, boxes going beyond the existing chapter and trying to open up realms of thinking to एक 6th standard के बच्चे के लिए ही नहीं, even for those who are preparing for civil services, this book is going to be very thought-provoking. So I enjoyed reading the book yesterday night. कल रात को 11 से सुबह 2-3 बजे तक मैं किताब को पढ़ते रह गया. It is a beautiful work of art. It's a masterpiece. अब when I say it is masterpiece, it is based on one single thing, apart from everything, but one major thing, कि they have taken a huge amount of efforts to increase the visual aspects of the book. इतनी बेहतरीन फोटोज़ है, lots of beautiful photos, maps की क्वालिटी पुराने NCERT के मुकाबले बहुत ऊपर गई है. What I got to know also that people at the very top in the book making committee, they were themselves involved in creating all this graphics content. The quality is very good. So ultimately it is a very engaging book, very useful book. It is a kind of a textbook plus workbook combined. तो कई सारे exercises जो हैं, they are not like old school जहाँ पे features बताओ, causes बताओ. They actually are activity oriented. So this is about it. Now coming to the history of this book, history of part in this book, you see, it is present everywhere. I was pleasantly surprised to see the amount of importance that NCERT has given to history as a subject in social science overall. Although this book contains geography to begin with, then we have history, we have society, we have governance, economy, everything. लेकिन हर एक में, not only in the chapters of history, but in all other chapters you will see sprinkling of some history here and there. तो अपने आप में वो बहुत interesting बात है. History is present everywhere. It is, for example, at the beginning of every chapter you have got lots of quotes, beautiful quotes that we can use in exam, in question answers, also in essays. And quotes किनके हैं? We have quotes of Aryabhatta, quotes of Jules Verne, we have quote of Tagore, Aurobindo, and such great personalities, and they are very perceptive, very insightful, very quotable quotes, so to say. So सबसे पहली बात एक quotes की हो गई. As I said, history is everywhere. So in first few minutes, let me talk about where exactly are historical facts present across various chapters in non-history section. Take example of geography. The very first chapter of geography opens up with a quote by Aryabhatta about the Earth's location. जब वो पढ़ाते हैं latitude and longitude, you will see very interestingly that they have talked about the latitude longitude not only in the modern geography but the way it was perceived in ancient India. We had the Indian meridian going from Ujjain, उसका नाम था मध्य रेखा, and that map is also shown with which all cities in ancient time fell on that single meridian and how it was significant in astronomical calculations for ancient Indian scholars. That is given not in history but in geography. When they talk of oceanography, at that time the Vedic deity of Varuna is mentioned along with Indian Navy, the sentence of Sham no Varunaha. When you talk of landform, while talking of landform in geography section, again the quote is given from Atharva Veda, the Bhumi Sukta. And when you come to the life form in different landforms, the South Indian texts, the Sangam literature in Tamil language, वहाँ पे अलग से एक बॉक्स बना के the Tinai system is explained. In our classes also, we study Tinai system. In UPSC also, in GS1 paper in mains, they have asked multiple times the society and economy of Sangam era. तो वो अब 6th standard के NCERT में geography में भी introduce कर दिया है. So these 5 things I could see in the first glance: Aryabhatta, Madhya Rekha, Varun Devata, Bhumi Sukta, and Tinai system of Sangam literature. These 5 interesting facts are integrated in geography. Let us come to some other section. Take polity and governance. इस किताब के आखिरी के कई सारे पन्ने they talk of local government. I was little bit surprised that there is huge focus on local government, both urban and rural, and perhaps in the next standards, say 7th and 8th grade, they would focus on national government. शायद उनका कोई एक road map हो सकता है. But in this book, they focus a lot on local government. But even within that, when you think of Bombay municipality, they talk of when it was established back in the history by British. There is another inset of multiple lines in which they talk about the foundation of first modern municipality in India by British in 17th century, that is Madras. So this Bombay and Madras municipalities are very old. उसके बारे में जानकारी आपको मिलती है governance and polity में. There is also one section where अर्थशास्त्र is quoted. कौटिल्य ने जो लोकल गवर्नमेंट से अपर तक का जो पूरा स्ट्रक्चर दिया हुआ है, संग्रहण, कर्वतिक एंड द्रोणमुख, वी स्टडी इन द क्लास, इन अवर नोट्स ऑल्सो इट इज मेंशन्ड. तो वो पूरा जो गवर्नेंस का जो टीयर्ड हायरार्किकल स्ट्रक्चर है, दैट इज मेंशन्ड इन पॉलिटी गवर्नेंस, नॉट इन हिस्ट्री. So there are lots of things which are sprinkled all around. Even if you come to society aspect, there is chapter called Unity in Diversity. In Unity in Diversity, they have taken up various aspects like food or textile or even festival. But apart from food, textile and festival, जिनकी diversity दिखाई है, the 2 sections are, one is epics and other is classical arts. Classical arts उन्होंने कहा it will come in some other book. But epics के बारे में रामायण, महाभारत and overall how religion and culture was evolved and how it unites India collectively, उसका एक अलग सेक्शन है 3-4 पन्नों का in Unity in Diversity. But apart from these 5 parameters, as I said, food, textile, festival, epics and classical arts, from the exam viewpoint again, यहाँ पे 2 चीज़ें मुझे बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग लगी. One thing is visual arts. एक सवाल यूपीएससी ने पूछा था जनरल स्टडीज पेपर 1 में a few years ago, मेन एग्जामिनेशन में, कि हाउ डू यू recreate the social aspects of Indian history from the sculptures of medieval temples or something to that effect, कि आप स्कल्पचर्स देख के सोसाइटी के बारे में उस जमाने के क्या बता सकते हो. देयर इज ब्यूटीफुल विजुअल देयर ऑफ अ वुमन इन साड़ी, and that sculpture comes from Vaishali city from the many centuries BCE. So we come to know of the sartorial traditions, the clothing history and how that has continued till today. There is also a box where they talk about chintz. ये सब आ रहा है सोसाइटी में, हिस्ट्री में नहीं. Chintz was the textile which was very famous in European market in 17th, 18th century, and lots of European companies used to come to India to export it back there and earn money. And how Indian textile flooded the European markets, so much so that they got frustrated. एक समय ऐसा था in the 18th century that London Parliament passed a specific laws called Calico laws to stop or discourage the import of Indian textile, or how that actually formed the basis or the beginning phase of economic nationalism to create the foundation for British industrialization. अब ये सारा कनेक्शन ऑफ इकोनॉमिक हिस्ट्री ऑफ मॉडर्न इंडिया एंड वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री ये दिया कहाँ पे है? नॉट इन हिस्ट्री सेक्शन, इन सोसाइटी. तो एज आई सेड, इन ज्योग्राफी, in polity governance and in society, you will see history being sprinkled everywhere. And then there are quotes, a lot of them. तो ये हो गया एक aspect where you see historical facts sprinkled everywhere and it is important for our exam. तो आपको सिर्फ history section पढ़ के नहीं चलेगा. But it is very easy to do. 2 घंटे की बात है. Now let me come to the very important aspect, the chapters on history. In that case, we have around 5 chapters, 3 clearly history and 2 verging on philosophical level. एक है timeline and sources. Then you have India, that is Bharat. The debate has now come in NCERT. Then beginning of civilization. Then you have cultural roots and unity diversity. So if you look at these chapters, I want to walk you through important aspects chapter by chapter for our exam. If I take the first chapter of history, that is timeline and sources, there are quite a bit of interesting things. It's a very easy chapter, very conceptual, and lots of basic facts are given, but they are also very insightful and students lack that clarity. So किताब से, although the किताब is for 6th grade, उस किताब से वो facts आपको पता चलेंगे. Now in the first chapter, the beginning is by the quote again, and this quote is given by a very famous historian, E.H. Carr. History is an unending dialogue between present and the past. ये कोट हम स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, हिस्ट्री BA में, यूपीएससी के कोचिंग में सब जगह बार बार इस्तेमाल करते हैं. In the first lecture itself, what is the meaning of history? This quote actually is given in a book by E.H. Carr, and the book is actually compilation of the speeches he had given in Cambridge University in 1960s. What is history? By E.H. Carr. So वो quote, a very important quote, now has come to the 6th grade. Then you look at the very first photo on the page, the photo of National Museum. And this is a very beautiful photo. This National Museum thing is especially important this year for a couple of reasons. एक तो museums itself as a category is becoming important. आज 2024 है. 200 साल हो गए, 200 years to the first major museum that British established in 1814 in Calcutta, called Indian Museum. And that is the point where the British started to control India's history, India's culture, to shape our mind. तो 200 साल हो गए, that is one thing. Second thing, this museum itself, Indian Museum Calcutta में है, तो National Museum दिल्ली में है. In National Museum, now the news is that this museum building, the photo यहाँ पे छापा जो है, it will get demolished. Because the museum is now getting shifted to North Block and South Block in Central Vista. तो perhaps ये photo यादगारी में रहेगा. But Central Vista is coming up very quickly in next couple of years. Maybe we all will be able to visit that. And वहाँ पे अलग अलग गैलरीज होने वाली है. तीसरी बात यह है, देयर इज ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ डिबेट अबाउट रिपैट्रिएशन ऑफ कॉलोनियल आर्टिफैक्ट्स, जो कि सारे लंदन में, फ्रांस में, अमेरिका में बैठे हुए हैं, जो हमारी हिस्ट्री है, जो हमारे आर्टिफैक्ट्स है। तो फॉर ऑल दिस डिबेट्स, आर्टिफैक्ट्स हो, सेंट्रल विस्टा हो, या फिर 200 साल ऑफ फर्स्ट म्यूजियम हो, म्यूजियम और म्यूजियम्स आर बिकमिंग इम्पॉर्टेंट। आर्टिकल्स छप रहे हैं, किताबें छप रही हैं, एंड इनके फर्स्ट चैप्टर ऑफ हिस्ट्री के फर्स्ट पेज का पहला फोटो जो है वो म्यूजियम का ही है। सो इट वॉज वेरी अप्रोप्रिएट। नाउ इस पहले चैप्टर में क्या क्या है, एक्सप्लेन व्हाट इज द बेसिक प्रोफेशंस हु क्रिएट हिस्टोरिकल कंटेंट, how the time is measured, the idea of calendar, etc. And it is very beautifully given. I want to focus on 4 or 5 important parts here, which I think are noteworthy from the UPSC aspirant's viewpoint. पहली बात तो on page number 62, first time, and later on in other chapter also, they have mentioned the birth date of Buddha. Now they are saying it is 560 BCE, an approximate year of birth of Buddha had. Up in earlier NCERT, the focus was on the exact date, but we know that earlier NCERT was wrong. If you read any standard history book, we have the debate about Buddha's birth date. उसमें 2-3 अलग-अलग dates हैं, and the difference is of almost 100 years. तो यहाँ पे NCERT has finally taken a note that the accurate date of birth of Buddha, accurate year of birth of Buddha is not known. We have long chronology and short chronology. तो वो एक बात उन्होंने यहाँ पे डिबेट को बिना मेंशन किए, अप्रोक्सीमेट बोल के उसको एक्सेप्ट किया है। वो अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है। Although I was little bit unhappy because in the same chapter what they have done, they have talked about different types of sources. And what is the job of historian is to reconcile the sources and then create the history. तो उन्होंने वो हिस्टोरियन का जॉब एज सोर्स रिकन्सिलिएटर बहुत अच्छे से दिखाया है, बट फिर ये हिस्टोरिकल डेट ऑफ बुद्धास बर्थ अप्रोक्सीमेट क्यों है? तो वहाँ पे अलग अलग सोर्सेस क्या बोल रहे हैं, उसके अंदर क्या डिफरेंसेस है, डिबेट है, दे शुड हैव टच्ड दैट डिबेट। ऑल्दो ठीक है, शायद वाइजली इन देयर विजडम दे वुड हैव डिसाइडेड कि भाई 6th स्टैंडर्ड के बच्चों के लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा समझना, बट एनीवे आई एम हैप्पी दैट दे हैव टेकन नोट ऑफ द डिबेट। यू नो व्हाट इज द ओल्डेस्ट एग्जैक्ट ईयर ऑफ एनी इंस्टेंस इन इंडिया दैट इज अनडिबेटेबल, बियॉन्ड डिबेट, इसके बारे में कोई डिबेट नहीं है, वो है द डेट ऑफ कोरोनेशन ऑफ अशोका, बिकॉज वी हैव गॉट इंस्क्रिप्शंस। बिफोर अशोकाज कोरोनेशन जितने इवेंट्स हुए हैं उसके बारे में आइदर वी डोंट हैव डेट, और इफ वी हैव डेट लाइक बुद्धास बर्थ, देयर इज ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ डिबेट, सो इट्स अ वेलकम थिंग। द सेकंड थिंग इज दैट इन द चैप्टर ऑफ हाउ वी मेजर टाइम, they have introduced Gregorian calendar, etc., Western calendar, but they have also introduced that there are multiple ways of time measurement, calendar keeping, and India also have the tradition of Panchang. So that was also a simple thing, but an important thing that they have taken note of. तीसरी बात है जो मुझे बहुत ही खूबसूरत लगी, वो थी a diagram. On page 67, there is a very beautiful diagram of sources of history. When we study sources of history in first chapter, we study literary sources and archaeological sources. But ये पुराना तरीका हो गया. If you read latest books in last 20-30 years, we come to know that sources are actually of more types. Beyond literature and archaeology, we have oral history. Oral history जहाँ पे आपकी folklore होती है, genealogies होती है, folk poetry होती है, ट्राइबल कल्चर की फोक हिस्ट्री होती है, तो ये सब भी अब वैलिड सोर्स के तौर पे माना जाता है। इन दिस डायग्राम दे हैव शोन इट ब्यूटीफुली। दे हैव एडेड आर्टिस्टिक सोर्सेस, विजुअल आर्ट्स एज अ सोर्स ऑफ हिस्ट्री, हिस्ट्री नॉट ओनली ऑफ आर्ट्स बट ऑफ सोसाइटी, पॉलिटी, इकोनॉमी एज वेल, उसको भी यहाँ पे उन्होंने अलग सोर्स के तौर पर इंट्रोड्यूस किया है। इवन इन द न्यू बुक ऑफ उपेंद्र सिंह दैट हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल स्टूडेंट्स रीड, विजुअल आर्ट्स को अब अलग से सोर्स करके माना जाता है। So from all that angle, this diagram is very useful and very updated. They have also included genetics in that. So ये मेरी तीसरी बात थी। And चौथी बात है, on the page 69, they have given you 3 sources to increase your historical consciousness, historical understanding. यहाँ पे one is the choice of the sources is very eclectic and very considerate. One source is Gupta era coin. We know Gupta has produced beautiful gold coins. तो एक यहाँ पे समुद्रगुप्ता का कॉइन है जहाँ पे वो वीणा बजा रहा है, ल्यूट प्लेइंग गुप्ता कॉइन. Then we have one sculpture from Mauryan era which has become the national emblem also. The lions of Ashokan Maurya, lion capital. But तीसरा सोर्स जो शामिल किया है वो है we have hero stone, the folk culture, folk history. So don't have sources of elites only, the sources of subalterns also, of common people also. तो देखो जैसे कि in case of diagram on sources, they have included folk sources, folk literature, oral culture. Similarly, in this visual arts also, they have talked about hero stones as valid source of history. And these are the elements that we need to include in our answers of GS1. So that was about this part. In the same chapter, they then begin the prehistory. What was man doing at the time of Ice Age, before Ice Age, Neolithic Revolution, first crops, and you have the beginning of settled life, etc. That part is given. That part is written very beautifully, but यहाँ पे I want to point out two specific things. एक happy, एक थोड़ा सा I would not say unhappy, but problematic. Happy क्या है? That when they discuss the Mesolithic art, again the question asked by UPSC in GS1. So when they discuss Mesolithic art, they talk of gender division, the gender roles. लोग क्या करते थे, उसमें से इंसान में मर्द क्या करते थे, औरतें काम क्या करती थी. So gender division of roles is mentioned, but then they question it. They question by saying कि what gets represented may not be what was in actuality. In representation, you see that there is proper gender division of roles. But in actuality, हो सकता है रंग बनाने में औरत ने मदद करी हो, कुछ पेंटिंग औरत ने किया हो, कुछ खाना इंसान मर्दों ने बनाया हो. तो ये मेल फीमेल डिवीजन जो है वर्क की, even if it is apparent in the paintings, it may not be really in the society. ये थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा ही insightful thinking है, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से दिखाया है. That was a very good thing for which I was happy about the prehistoric part. Problematic area कौन सा है? On page number 70, the title is The Beginnings of Human History. Now we know we think of history only when we have literature available to us. Whatever comes before that is either proto-history or in this context, pre-history. तो एक किस्म से ये प्री हिस्ट्री है, हिस्ट्री नहीं है. सो टेक्निकल एंगल से फर्स्ट क्रॉप्स हो या मेसोलिथिक पेंटिंग हो, उसको हम हिस्ट्री नहीं कहते, उसको प्री हिस्ट्री कहते हैं. बट समहाउ NCERT हैज थॉट इन इट्स विजडम टू यूज द वर्ड हिस्ट्री फॉर इट. मे बी they don't want to introduce the technical meaning of history in 6th standard. So if we go by a very loose use of word, it is okay. So it was about the first chapter, timeline and sources. Then we come to the next chapter. Next chapter is India, that is Bharat. मतलब इसके बारे में 1-1.5 साल पहले बहुत बड़ा डिबेट हुआ था. Now I am making another video on the very same book from the debatable viewpoint कि क्या इसमें राइट विंग हिस्ट्री है, इज इट अ सैफ्रनाइजेशन ऑफ हिस्ट्री. उसका इशू अलग से है एंड दैट विल बी डिस्कस्ड इन अ सेपरेट वीडियो जो आपको इस प्लेलिस्ट में मिल जाएगा. राइट नाउ आई एम थिंकिंग फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ प्रिपरेशन, प्रीलिम्स के लिए एंड मेंस के लिए क्या क्या चीज़ें काम की है. सो दिस चैप्टर इंडिया दैट इज भारत, इसमें दे टॉक ऑफ एंशिएंट नेम्स ऑफ इंडिया from various Indian sources, from Vedic era, Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. and also from various foreign travelers viewpoint. क्या क्या नाम रहे हैं, इंडिया का नाम बदलते कैसे गया over the centuries. तो उसमें ज़्यादा कुछ अलग से facts I did not find from the viewpoint of exam कि कोई important हो. इस चैप्टर को हम डिस्कस ज़्यादा करेंगे in the other video about controversy of right wing history writing. But and the very first page of chapter, there is a beautiful photo of Sanchi sculpture. And in that Sanchi sculpture on the Torana, they have shown the scene from rural India from about 2300 years ago कि गांव में daily life में लोग क्या क्या करते थे. Again you go back to UPSC's question. How do you create history of India from visual sources? उसका एक और बहुत अच्छा नमूना है. तो for this book reading, I suggest one thing for sure. If you are not interested in reading the book, at least go through the pages, look at the photos and diagrams and absorb them. आपको जीएस न्यूज़ का बहुत फायदा होगा. डायग्राम्स देखो, फोटोज देखो, बॉक्सेस पढ़ो, that is going to give you lot of good information. Now, that was about this chapter, India, that is Bharat. Let me go to the next chapter, which is, I think, much more important, the beginning of civilization. Now, what is a civilization? इसके बारे में we have lots of debates. Originally जो concept थी, civilization is different from culture, culture तो local होता है, civilization is much more superior, much more evolved, and India में तो है नहीं, बस हमारे पास यूरोप में है. It was a very Eurocentric, very racist, very colonial, imperial kind of thinking. So that definition they have completely rejected. Now they have gone for definition which is primarily from the archaeological viewpoint. उन्होंने यहाँ पे 7-8 elements दिए हुए हैं, and it is a very good way of defining civilization, which forms the bedrock of our understanding. तो ये chapter जो है, again it comes with lot of beautiful photos. This chapter is primarily about हड़प्पा. अब इसमें भी डिबेट है, सिंधु सरस्वती वगैरह. वी शैल सी इन अ सेपरेट वीडियो. बट फ्रॉम द व्यू पॉइंट ऑफ एग्जाम, आई वांट टू अंडरलाइन lot of things here for chapter of Harappa. Every single subtitle here is a possible question. How it evolved from villages to city. That is the origin of Harappan civilization that is given. Map is also extremely beautiful. Then you look at the subheadings. Town planning wala subheading hai. That is very normal. It was there in the earlier NCERT also. But now you have water management and Dholavira. Dholavira, as we know, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And we know how Harappan cities tried to fit in the local ecological setting. How were they climate friendly, environment friendly, and what kind of technologies they evolved to survive in adverse kind of ecological setting. उसके लिए बहुत अच्छा section है ये. Then what did the Harappans eat? In optional, they had asked a question, the subsistence pattern of Harappans. ये 2 paragraphs जो है, they are fully the answer of the question in the optional. Then we have brisk trade. Now trade वाला part तो हमेशा अच्छा ही होता है हड़प्पा का. यहाँ भी they have given lots of good photos and they are very interesting. Apart from that, when it comes to society, polity, religion, यहाँ पे एक थोड़ा सा twist है. Twist क्या है? They have not gone into the aspects of society, polity, and religion because we don't know much about them. It can only be inferred from archaeology. So you don't see different sections for it. What you see instead is again lots of beautiful photos, and photos are so interesting that it indicates to the other question कि हड़प्पा declined but it did not disappear. तो उन्होंने यहाँ पे टाइटल भी यूज किया है, was it an end or new beginning? तो एक क्वेश्चन यूपीएससी कई बार पूछ चुकी है पहले कि इवन आफ्टर डिक्लाइन ऑफ हड़प्पा देयर वाज कल्चरल कॉन्टिन्यूटी ऑफ सम सॉर्ट. तो आप यहाँ पे देखोगे, यू विल सी प्रोटोशिवा, यू विल सी स्वस्तिका, यू विल सी बैंगल्स इन द हैंड ऑफ डांसिंग गर्ल, नमस्कार एज द मुद्रा. वी नो दैट देयर स्टोरी ऑफ अ थर्स्टी क्रो that we tell in our childhood nowadays. वो story you see apparently being painted on the pottery of Harappan era. You have the chess kind of game here with games. You have weight system, mirror of ancient copper mirror, etc. Kanghi bhi hai. So lots of objects of daily use, lots of objects of games and plays, the clothing, the style, the mannerism, even the auspicious symbol like swastika, the stories of people. तो ये सारी चीज़ें जिसको हम intangible कहते हैं, they seem to have continued till today, even after Harappa's decline. ये एक perfect सवाल यूपीएससी ने पूछा हुआ है, and you can have ample amount of examples to write in the answer the moment you look at the photos itself. तो ये section बड़ा अच्छा है. So we have to understand on one time, at one's end, it is actually an end of one era, but it is also the beginning of another era. So that is about the history of civilization and Harappa. Then we come to the next chapter, India's cultural roots. It starts with some Subhashit, and we have the photos of some Rishi from Vedic era. We have Buddha from Bhutan and Mahavira sculpture from Bihar. So we come to know immediately that they want to talk of philosophical rootings of India. So chapter's name is Cultural Roots. इसमें 3 पार्ट हैं, Vedic, Buddhist, Jain and some folk and tribal. As far as Vedic part is concerned, I could find multiple things from the viewpoint of exam which are useful for us for both prelims and mains. In prelims, I'll just mention 4 very quickly. We have the mention of UNESCO Intangible Heritage Vedic chanting. It is integrated with introduction of Vedic literature, how it was preserved orally through centuries. Then you have mentioned the word Rishika. लिखा है the Vedic hymns were composed by rishis, the male seers or sages, and rishikas, female ones, in an early form of Sanskrit language. Early form माने आर्ष संस्कृत. It's pre-Pandinian Sanskrit, but the word Rishika is used. यूपीएससी ने क्या पूछा था हमें एक बार प्रीलिम्स में? ब्रह्मवादिनी. Now they are called Rishika, but we know there were female authors, female composers. ये दूसरी बात हुई. तीसरा fact, they have mentioned the word Ritam. These deities sustain rhythm or truth and order in human life and in the cosmos. Rita. Before the emergence of dharma as a concept, Rita as a concept were very important in the early Vedic literature, and the meaning of rhythm is asked by UPSC in one prelims paper, prelims question. तो यहाँ पे वो भी introduce हो गया. Then you go to a beautiful section of 2 pages in which they give the stories from various Upanishads. एक दी है श्वेतकेतु from Chandogya Upanishad, story of Yama and Nachiket from Katha Upanishad, and then story of debate between Gargi and Yajnavalkya from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Do you remember APSC had asked a question? Which of the following books contains the story of Yama and Nachiketa? तो यहाँ पे 3 कहानियाँ. तो do you know that संवाद, a dialogue kind of section that is present in Vedic literature is very beautiful, very dramatic, and इसमें से 3 कहानियाँ जो कि moral stories है यहाँ पे प्रोड्यूस करी हुई है. So it helps us collect more facts in a story based format, and therefore we don't forget it. When it comes to the section on Upanishad, I found that it was very beautifully written in a very simplest of the manner, yet it gives you multiple points to write in the answer. The connection, especially for optional, the connection between Upanishadic philosophy and Buddhism and Jainism, the relevance of Upanishadic thought in modern era that could be asked in GS, or connection between Ashoka's Dhamma and Upanishad. इस सबके लिए जो बेसिक फिलोसॉफिकल आइडिया होनी चाहिए उपनिषदों की, वो इसमें बहुत अच्छी दी हुई. It is very directly reproducible in simple language with fundamental points. So those 2 pages I liked a lot. Then when you come to Buddhism, Jainism, I was little bit unhappy because, or maybe I am biased also, क्योंकि हम क्लास में इतना पढ़ते हैं. One complete lecture on Buddhism for 2.5 hours, and again similarly for Jainism. So we study a lot more than that is given in this section. So as far as Buddhism, Jainism are concerned, I did not find something new or something drastically different that we don't do otherwise. कुछ अच्छे photos हैं, paintings and sculptures के, and some stories are also given here, like Jataka Katha, etc. So they are useful. And the final section here is of folk and tribal roots. This is a new thing. यहाँ पे you clearly see the influence of anthropology and sociology on history. They have gone into the idea of little tradition and great tradition without mentioning it in the previous NCERT. The new NCERT of 2006, you see the great tradition वगैरह being discussed in 11th standard NCERT, 11th or 12th standard NCERT. Now they have brought that theme, that aspect, that philosophy without using technical words in 6th standard. कि this subaltern perspective of Hinduism क्या है? Subaltern perspective, how there is cultural osmosis between the two, top and bottom, elite and folk, कैसे रहा है? That they have done very beautifully with multiple examples from Khandoba to Jagannath Puri, even mentioning some examples from Northeast. So ये उन्होंने अच्छा किया है. They have even quoted in some places. In one place I could see the name of Andre Bete. In other place I saw the name of K.S. Singh. इन दोनों को हम ऐसे भी एंथ्रो सोशल में कोट करते हैं. सो दिस पार्ट इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम दैट एंगल. यू विल फाइंड एम्पल एग्जाम्पल्स. सो दिस इज अबाउट दिस फ्यू चैप्टर्स ऑफ हिस्ट्री. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड व्हाई एंड हाउ इट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. फॉर प्रीलिम्स पर्सपेक्टिव देयर आर सम इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्ट्स. फ्रॉम मेन्स पर्सपेक्टिव सम क्वेश्चंस लाइक मेसोलिथिक आर्ट, beginning of food production, Harappan civilization. You have a continuity of Harappa after its demise itself. The Vedic ideas and how they are relevant today, you can use multiple quotes given there. Upanishadic philosophies and its continuity with Buddhism, Jainism, etc. And then philosophical aspects and cultural rooting as such, including subaltern narrative. तो ये सब के जो क्वेश्चंस आएंगे GS1 में इन हिस्ट्री एंड सोसाइटी, उसके लिए यू विल फाइंड इनफ फॉर्डर in simple language and adequate examples in this book. So my suggestion would be, this book is not going to be one single source at all. You still have to go back to basic chronological books, old NCERT perhaps, or your class notes or any coaching notes or textbooks. लेकिन जब आपको एग्जाम की तैयारी करनी है तो there will come a day after finishing your basic reading that you would want to go through this book in 2-3 घंटे, in couple of hours. Take the notes, make your understanding more enriched, more conceptual, more visually appealing, ताकि आपको आंसर लिखने में फैक्ट्स की एंड कंसेप्ट से कभी कमी नहीं पड़ेगी. So that is the story. Now I will also be making another video on the same book as I said earlier, कि ये किताब राइट विंग हिस्ट्री है कि नहीं है. वो थोड़ा डिबेटेबल टॉपिक है एंड रिलेटिवली लेस इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर UPSC, तो आई एम मेकिंग इट सेपरेटली. If you're interested, you can watch it. Thank you.